Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at a company that started in Vancouver, Canada in 1992, I believe, and it's called Paperblanks. And oddly enough, what we're going to be looking at mostly is planners. I know it's March, and it's a little bit past planning season, but the other day a friend of mine gave me several planners, and I already have some Paperblank products that I use. So we'll be taking a look at those. Anyway, it's March in Canada. And for all my Canadians out there, elbows up, guys and girls and women and boys, elbows up. Anyway, here we go. So what you have is an interesting stationery company, I think. And possibly the most attractive planners and notebooks and journals and address books that I can find around here in Charlottetown. And yes, these all probably came from the bookmark here in Charlottetown. And we're going to take a look at them. So what do we have? What is this one? Okay, this is the planner I've been using. I like a little one. Let me make some room here. We'll take a look at them all, but we'll make some room. Anyway, so yeah, this is the one I keep on my desk. And you know what? I've never actually been a planner person, and I'm still not particularly good at it. But my problem is I'll be working at my desk and I'll be talking to someone and I'll make an appointment. I'll write it on a scrap of paper. I'll stick the scrap of paper somewhere and lose it. So it's kind of nice to have a little planner on my desk. And I work it from home. I'm an artist. I'm a picture framer. I'm a stay-at-home dad. And, sometimes I'm always making appointments and having to go places. So this is the 2005 planner. And it's, I'm just going to give you a measurement. It's 5 by 7, which is actually a really nice size. And as you can see, there's this beautiful sort of pattern on it. And it's very, very nice texture. It's embossed. It's got a nice feel to it. That is not a real jewel right here. It sure looks like it at first glance. On the spine it says 2005, and I guess if you were into keeping these things, you could just put it on your shelf and keep it. Now it's stitch bound, as you can see right here. Doesn't really lie flat, this one anyway. Well, actually it kind of does, but that's okay. I don't need it to. I'm not too fussy about things like this that lie flat. But it's stitch bound, it's not glued. At the back, so Paperblanks Planners, Diamond Jubilee. This glorious design came from my eyes, Sangorsky and Sutcliffe, a world-renowned British bindery best known for their bejeweled cover of Omar Khayyam's Rubaiyat. Anyway, so designed in Canada. I believe it was made in China. Yes, made in China. The paper printed on acid-free paper, sustainable forest pages. So it's acid-free. I've used it with my fountain pen, and it's very fountain pen friendly. And as you see, when you go through it, you have a space for each day, which is kind of nice. And at the bottom, you have the calendar for whatever month it is, in this case, May. What are the little features? There's not a whole lot of features other than the calendar. And, the spaces for all your, space is adequate for my use. Now, if you're a professional, you might want something a bit more elaborate. But as somebody who's just keeping track of dentist appointments and doctor's appointments and framing appointments and things like that, this is very good. At the back, you have sort of an index. Let's see what it is. takes you up to the first couple days in January. So you have international holidays listed here, which kind of useful. There's a title block for notes. Then you have the calendar for 2026. So if you're looking ahead, you can sort of see what's going to happen in 2026. National holidays and celebrations 2026. Okay. So there is a planner for 2026, but it's very, very simple. So I guess if you're in 2025 and you have something that's coming up in 2026, you can write it here. And when you get your 2026 planner, you can just sort of transcribe all that information into the proper space, which is quite nice. Yeah, okay. I kind of like these things, actually. So yeah, it shows you, it takes you right up to December. International dialing codes, world time zones. Well, that's actually handy because conversions, clothing sizes, measurements, and things like that. The other day, I was trying to figure out proper shoe sizes, and everything was in European sizes. So it's good, kind of nice to know. So you can also have a space for travel planning, birth dates, and important dates. And then, of course, pages for notes. Actually, quite extensive space here for notes, which is nice. And also, at the very back is an address, telephone directory that you can write in if you needed somebody's telephones, numbers, etc., etc. So that's quite handy. So that actually, it's quite extensive what's in here. And this is fairly simple, this one. And there's a little envelope at the back for, business cards or letters and things like that. There's a little elastic that I guess is mostly for, let's see, does that hold the cover? Yeah, it works on the cover. Cool. Keeps everything together. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. And there's also a ribbon bookmark. So that's the one I use. Fairly small. I thought it was fairly simple, but there's more to it than I expected. Anyway, let's take a look at a couple others. I also have had this on my desk for quite a while. And what it is, I'm just going to make sure nobody's address and numbers pop up. I have an address book. And yeah, I know. Do people need address books in the age of the internet? Well, my age, I like to write down people's addresses. I like to write down people's phone numbers, email addresses. I keep them. As you can see, it's not full. Why is that? Well, I've gotten to that age where I meet fewer people. Anyway, let's go. So yeah, and once again, there's a space in the back here for an accordion binder, envelope, I guess you would call it, for notes and things like that. And I just stick them in there, business cards, etc., etc. And there's no other little bonus features to this other than the fact that it's an address book, and it's quite nice. And they seem to be using historical book designs, or fabric designs in their packaging. And once again, this is 5x7. For me, that's perfect. I like it on my desk that size. And of course, they have lots of different patterns, which are possibly not to everyone's taste. And I got to be honest, when I first saw them, I looked at them and I thought, oh, that's nice, but is it me? I don't know. But the more I'm around these and the more I use them, the more I like them. Sometimes you need something that's a bit over the top, has beautiful patterns, a bit of history to it, some color, some texture. It's kind of nice to feel. And the paper is good. I've used it with fountain pens, and it works quite nicely. I used it with ballpoint pens. I've used it with pencils, and it works very nicely. It's nice to work with. I haven't picked up a journal from Paperblanks. And you know what? Maybe the next journal I do, I will look and see if they have a journal and just try it and see how it works. So those are all 5x7s. And so is this one. As you can see, there's some lovely designs. There's more pages in some rather than others. And I have more, well, I have more planners than I need. But I do have a plan for my planners. And I don't know if it makes any sense, but those are all 5x7s. I don't know if it makes any sense what my planners are, but I'll let you know what I'm going to do. But anyway, so the next size I have is, what is this, 8x10. And it's in that pattern, 8x10. Is it 8x10? No, it's 7. 7x9. 7x9. And this is another planner. And this one is a bit more elaborate. There's more spaces for appointments and things like that, as you see. So, oh, and actually this one's out of date by a long way. This is 2024. I've had this sitting around here, and sorry, I misspoke. It's 2025, also 2024. I guess that's the last. No, okay, November, December 2024. And it takes you into, does it take you into 2026? Not really. January 2026. Once again, it has a calendar leading up to 2027. And then it has international dialing codes, world time zones, travel planning, conversions for clothings and measurements, temperature, Celsius to Fahrenheit. In Canada, we sensibly use metric system, which is superior to Fahrenheit. Trying to figure out things in Fahrenheit or inches and yards. And it's very good to have, but you do need sometimes a conversion table, which is nice. It has room for birthdays again. And then I guess you could just also use this as a journal. So if you have all these, or if you had to take some more elaborate notes, I guess, notes, etc. And once again, a really nice envelope, actually. Expands nicely, and of course the elastic band and a rather pretty red ribbon. And the last one I'm going to show you is actually the largest one I have right now, and I'm keeping, well, this one is 8 by 11 3/4. Actually, a couple of these are going to my partner Jane. She'll take a couple of these to work, but I'm going to keep a couple that I'm already using, but I'm going to keep this one for myself, and the 2024 I'm going to keep. And let's take a look at this one. Why am I keeping this one for myself? I'll let you know. Once again, it's a bit more elaborate. There's lots of spaces. It breaks down into time. So, you know what? If you're working in an office and you have, if you're a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, there's lots of areas here for meetings and appointments and so on, which is quite nice to have. Space for notes on the side there, plus January and February calendars. And once again, each page is pretty much like that. And when you get back to the back, what do we have? You have more calendars leading up into 2026. And conversions, of course, for clothing and measurements, temperature, travel planning, birthdays, important dates, etc., and notes. And once again, a nice little, actually a nice big expanding folder. And this one actually came with this little booklet, I guess you'll call it, and paper blanks. And it has a picture of a telephone. Yes, that for a lot of people, that actually is a telephone. The old rotary dial. That's that's a throwback. And inside there are spaces for telephone and addresses. And it's not really in. Oh yeah, it is actually. Yeah, it's alphabetical order. That's just something that was tossed in the back there, and it's kind of nice. Actually, that came in. That's quite handy. I might even use that on its own. And this one is called Wildwood. Yeah. So what am I going to do with this? Well, a couple of them are going to Jane, and she'll maybe pass them out at the office. It's 2025 planner. Yes, it's March, but it's early in March, so they could probably get a lot of use. But they will get a lot of use, right? There's 9 more months in this year. But for me, I'm going to use my planner the way I have been. I'm going to keep my address book. I'm going to write people's numbers in it. And I'm going to keep this one. And I'm actually thinking I might turn it into an art piece. Do some artwork utilizing the pages as they are, and seeing what I can come up with. Nowadays, I am painting in a figurative style, sort of what I used to do earlier. But for a long time, I was doing abstract artwork, and I was using collage and found pages. I would take something like this and do a drawing or an illustration, drawing and painting and collage on top of it, and utilize found pages and stuff like that. So it might be interesting to readdress that period of my life using a book. Starting off, maybe I was thinking I'd start in the middle, so I'd work backwards, like so. Find the center of the book, start the artworks there, then find the next page, and so on, and just keep going, back through the book. I'll see. I have many ideas of things I want to do, and you know what? Sometimes I do them, sometimes I don't. But that's my plan. Anyway, so Paperblanks. Have you tried their products? Let me know in the comments. Have you tried their journals? Do they have a journal? I should actually check and make sure they have a journal. And let me know how do you like their paper? So far I find it quite fountain pen friendly. It's nice to write with. But how would it be for a long journal? I don't know. Anyway, me rambling. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new around here, subscribe, and I hope you're all well. And if you're Canadian, keep your elbows up, okay? And I hope you're well wherever you are in the world. Someday, things will be better. I hope. But anyway, in the meantime, let's keep on carrying through. Take care. Bye-bye.